This is 3FM.
Well, I stood 5 years ago because I was very concerned about the loss of VAT. Effectively, we lost a third net of our income, and that's an incredible amount of money for anyone to lose. I'm local, I have 3 children, and I wanted a future for my children if they wanted to live on the island. So I suppose that motivated me. I have a background, I've worked in the Treasury, I've worked in the finance sector, I've set up 3 businesses from scratch, I've been quite successful with them, and I felt that there was a lack of people who knew how to make money and get value for money in government. And I like to think I'm a compassionate person too. So I stood 5 years ago. I see this as a sort of, if the people want me, as a 2-3 term job really to get the island back on its feet. In the last 5 years, the 200 million deficit has come down to 75 million, but all the low-hanging fruit has been picked. And in the next 5 years, we've got to balance the books and have a modest surplus by 2021 because the free reserves run out. So I think that's the key element, ensuring that the Island Man is on a secure financial footing, because all the services we want, whether it be more teachers in our children's classrooms or better maintenance of the schools, more police on the roads to monitor speeding cars, etc., hospital health service, social workers, all that has to be paid for. And if we've got an economy that's running in the red all the time, then we can't provide the services that we want. 95% of everything we do is good. You always get problems that we will get wrong. No one is perfect, and we do make mistakes. But I think the litmus test is, I get more compliments than complaints in the post. Door knocking, the vast overwhelming majority saying we've had a fantastic experience at Nobles Hospital. But as I say, there are always a few people where either we get it wrong, or no matter what you do, you're going to get complaints. But if I give you some feedback from TT Fortnight, I always go around in the last week and thank the staff for going the extra mile as usual with the extra workload. And I was speaking to a couple of bikers who'd had serious accidents, and they were being transferred to a hospital where they lived, and they were asking could they stay in Nobles Hospital until they were discharged, because the service and the facilities that they were getting were vastly superior to what they'd experienced in their local hospitals. So I sometimes think we take for granted our hard-working staff and also the facilities that we have on the Isle of Man. But there's always room for improvement. We've got to balance the books. We've got 75 million to find over the next 5 years and a modest surplus. And as a backbencher in 2012, I came up with the Enterprise Fund, where we, instead of sending all our reserves off the island into equities, I said, why don't we loan up to 50 million over 5 years to local businesses? They employ more people, they maybe expand their headquarters, the building and construction industry get a bite of the cherry, the extra employees are paying national insurance, tax, they buy a toaster from Around TV, that generates VAT. So you've got the multiplier effect kicking in, and therefore you don't just get a return then on your capital investment, you get additional funds coming into Treasury. So that's now just economic development have gone ahead with that concept in the last couple of months, and hopefully that will help grow the economy. Obviously reducing the size of government and the cost of government. In my first 18 months as chairman of planning, the cost of that division was 1,045,000. When I left, it was 585,000. I brought in permitted development, so we have that. So the public no longer had to put in for a planning application. For nearly 300 applications a year that took out. I'd like to achieve more. It's never enough. Whilst I think I've got a lot done in my time, you want to improve on what you've delivered. On a personal note, I don't know if I've managed my personal time enough. You miss a lot of your children growing up, and that's probably something I haven't got quite right. But I just think solving the island's problems, we've got to get better. We've got to raise our game. We've got to cut out more waste. I get just as frustrated as members of the public when I see waste still happening in government, and I think we've got to jump on that more and ensure that someone who's self-made, getting value for money is something that's a priority, because you haven't got it to waste or you'll go bankrupt. And I think as a government we still need to up our game on getting value for money, and as my old housemaster used to say, spend it wisely, Quayle.
More music for the Isle of Man.
3FM.